Hey, it's me. It's animated me. I'm your host, Andy Burrows, and it's time for another episode of Completed It. Movie reviews, pop culture, celebrity guests, and all that good stuff. Oh, and my good friend over there, Sasha Alari, is my co-host. Hey, Satch, hit the titles, brother. Welcome everybody back to another episode of Completed It. I'm your host Andy Burrows, and we are back with yet another film review. And yes, for everyone watching on YouTube, you can see I'm with my illustrious co-host, Mr. Sasha Alari. Sash, how are you, brother?
All good, man. All good.
All good. We are here for another. This movie, we are sitting down to review the Formula One movie. Probably one of the most anticipated movies of the year so far. Look, I'm a huge Formula One fan, so I was always excited for this movie. But I feel like every time I went to the movies in the last 2, 3 months, this was the main trailer. Saw it over and over and over and over again. And to be fair to them, they didn't do what a lot of other movies have done. Like I feel like I've seen, and look, I'm gonna love the Superman movie, but I feel like I've seen half of it because they keep releasing trailer after trailer. I know another when me and you were sitting recording this, another Fantastic Four trailer come out. We're going to get to that at the end of the episode, maybe have a little trailer chat because it kind of annoys me the amount of trailers that are. But I remember back when me and you were young lads, which was a long time ago, by the way, you'd get one trailer and you'd be excited and then you'd maybe go and see it. Now, yeah, two maximum. Now you seem to get half the bloody movie. Anyway, Sash, you and I are very lucky. Warner Brothers UK hooked us up with the media day to go and see the Formula One movie yourself, and I've seen it as well. We got a little early sneak peek with Mr. Brad Pitt starring as Sonny Hayes, and Damson Idris starring as Joshua Pierce, racing for the team Apex Racing in Formula One. A lot of people, one person I know has seen a little sneak peek as well. They said to me it was Top Gun meets Formula One. No great surprise because it was directed by the same guy, Joseph Kosinski. Did I say that?
Krasinski, yeah.
There you go. Kind of said it right. Same guy that directed Top Gun, obviously directed the Formula One movie. Uh, I'm a huge Formula One fan. I know you're not a massive Formula One fan, but you went and saw the movie at the media evening. Again, thanks to Warner Brothers UK for hooking us up. A runtime of 2 hours 36 minutes as well. Sash, this movie. It was a long, late night, but fully worth it, brother. Let me get your take as someone who's you went in it as a movie fan. I went in it as a movie fan and a Formula One fan. What did you make of what you saw, my friend?
I loved it, man. I thought it was great, great cinematography. Obviously, I've been following Krasinski since he first did Tron Legacy. I just think this guy's use of camera just gets better and better. Obviously, Tron Legacy was more a digital affair because of a CGI. Funnily enough, what I didn't realize about Tron Legacy is how much of the sets were actually physical with the with lighting and stuff to light stuff up.
Mm,
I never knew that. I thought it was all CGI, but because he's the focus this week because of a new movie that he's been talking a lot about
hmm
his older stuff, and I follow obviously Top Gun. The guy managed to do a decent. I love Top Gun,
Oh,
but
who?
Maverick,
Yeah,
Maverick was
incredible.
incredible. Is it Top Gun? Is it just Top Gun in
Is
cars?
it Top
No,
Gun in
I
cars?
disagree.
Yeah.
I disagree. I think the way it's written is what defines it because it's not, a guy training a group of racers, and it's not about a mission. It's you know what I mean. Like here's the thing: if you want a Top Gun but in race cars, that is Days of Thunder with Tom Cruise
Agreed.
because what happens in that movie? You got an arrogant racing car driver that
hmm
has a crisis of confidence that what I
Yeah.
mean, he has to overcome, and that's the same as Top Gun and every other 1980s Tom Cruise movie.
Yeah.
Cocktail as well. That was the thing. It's like he's the shit. He has a he's too cocky, then he has a crisis of confidence, and then he learns to accept himself or learns a lesson along the way that makes him
hmm
become less of a dick, and he's a great racing car. That's not this. So anyone saying that comparison is full of shit. All right, because
Yeah, I read a lot of film critics
but I will
today.
say,
That's what they compared it
a
to.
lot of the lessons from Top Gun Maverick in terms of the direction, the use
Mm,
of practical effects, the use of real racing cars and cameras in the in the actual machines with Brad Pitt racing it,
mm.
across the track. It brings that element to the racing car.
Yeah, visually it was kind of the same. When you watch Maverick and you get the overhead shots of the
Yeah,
plane. This, when you were getting the overhead shots of the cars going along the Formula One track, to me that just screamed Top Gun meets Formula One. But that was purely a visual thing. There was nothing to do
yeah, yeah.
with comparing the movies. But I mean, this was such a feel good. I mean, if you've ever watched what's the NFL movie? Any Given Sunday. This kind of giving me that
Later.
kind of vibe. Yeah,
Yeah.
this kind of giving me that kind of. So anyone that hasn't seen it, maybe switch off now and come back when you've seen it because there are going to be a few spoilers in this because it's hard to do this non-spoiler free this movie because it's very much Brad Pitt plays a character called Sonny Hayes who's not down on his luck. He's just competed in NASCAR. He's kind of coming to the end of his career and he gets an opportunity to come back to Formula One with Apex Racing. They basically say to him, look, we want you to come back to Formula One. We want you to compete. We're pretty shit. We haven't run a race. We're not very good. We need someone to come and help this young guy, Joshua, who's he loves himself. He's up his own arse. He's more interested in, and what it's like, this movie gives a good portrayal, I think, of what modern sports people, some of them are. He's more interested in social media. He's more interested in partying. Then you get the old school guys who are Sonny Hayes, Brad Pitt's character, is like, fuck that. He says, I'm here just to work. I'm going to show you the old school work ethics of what hard work will get you. You'll get rewarded. And basically, the whole movie is Joshua learning eventually from the Brad Pitt character Sonny Hayes, and it tells a really good story of old school meets new school, and they both learn a little something from each other, I think. And it's a this movie was never going to be, in my opinion, a flop. You don't spend 300 million and budget for me. I know me and you talk about budget all the time. 300 million when you've got Formula One involved, money doesn't fucking matter. When you're getting Max Verstappen, do you know Lewis Hamilton was the executive producer of this movie?
Yeah, he produced it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's super cool. I mean that helped. You could tell as well because don't get me wrong, there were some things, and we're not going to give everything away. There were some things in the movie that, for me as a Formula One fan, were like, yeah, this is the Hollywood moment. This is the Hollywood bit. This would never happen in Formula One ever, like ever, ever, ever. And I was sitting there with this half of my brain with my Formula One head on, this half of my brain being the movie fan, thinking this is fucking brilliant, but this would never happen. I get it why they Hollywooded certain aspects of this movie. I don't know if you got it because I know you said you don't
No,
watch loads of,
I wouldn't have got
yeah,
it.
you don't watch loads of Formula One. But for me, this was it had like Martin Brundle, David Cross, Will Buxton, Rachel Brooks. It had the whole Sky Sports Formula One team in it, Max Verstappen. It had everyone in it. Toto Wolff got a speaking part in it. So for Formula One to put their name to anything, this movie was always going to be good because money wasn't really an option. I mean, fucking hell, they filmed at the British Grand Prix last year. They were filming whilst the actual Grand Prix were going on. So money was never an option for this movie. It was such a feel good. It didn't feel like a 2 hours 36-minute movie. This was old school beats. This is a feel good kind of movie. If you're very much into your, how can I explain it?
Well, that's just it. It's the throw. Well, it is a Jerry Bruckheimer production, and
Mm,
that's the main thing. So Jerry Bruckheimer produced this movie. You had his symbol on the movies
hmm.
is the thunderbolt that
Yep.
comes at the start. Um, Most film fans know who Jerry is.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah, if you're watching this, you
Beverly
should.
Hills Cop,
Or
Top
Google it.
Gun, Days of Thunder, Pirates of the Caribbean, Con Air, The Rock. The
All
list goes on,
action,
man.
yeah, action movies.
I remember as a kid, the blockbuster movie was the Jerry Bruckheimer movie.
Mm,
Very much of the 80s and 90s. Every year you want to see what Jerry would pop out, pop
mm.
out. You'd always have like a big A-list star like Tom Cruise or a Will Smith with Enemy, what's it, the one with Gene Hackman and he's on the run, Enemy of the State.
Enemy of the State.
Yeah. So Jerry Bruckheimer has always been good at getting the best talent, the best actors, for for his thing. And Quentin Tarantino himself says you're not a movie star until you've done a Jerry Bruckheimer movie. And
Mhm.
Brad Pitt, I can't even remember if Brad Pitt has ever teamed up with Jerry. But you know what? Like fucking Brad Pitt's definitely a movie star, and if anyone thought his light was shining, he exudes charisma as per usual. Like not even you know what I mean anything. But it did, like you said, like they brought like Hans Zimmer doing the score,
Yeah.
because Hans Zimmer used to do these scores as well, and it really did sound like the old school Jerry Bruckheimer kind of score
Yeah,
that you
it
get
was
the
kind of
Con
an
Air
old
and
school movie and a modern day twist
yeah.
with obviously modern day effects, and the soundtrack was
Oh man,
incredible.
the soundtrack was such a animal. And that's the thing with Jerry Bruckheimer movies. When you think of any of these films, from Beverly Hills Cop to Con Air to The Rock and all of these films, it was you'd always have like the movie and then you'd have the soundtrack. You know
Mm.
what I mean? Jerry's films were always, and then he did the Pirates thing and kind of didn't do the soundtracks, but you know what I mean? We're here to talk classic Jerry, and this
Mm.
felt like classic Jerry Bruckheimer, classic feel good, classic. You laugh, you cry, the
Yeah, it had a little, it had everything. It had
yeah,
like obviously they threw in a little love story, which uh,
yeah.
was
It's
part
typical
that was for
Hollywood.
me. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Hollywooded up a bit, But what I liked was the fact that Formula One just fully embraced this movie because Formula One sport is a very exclusive sport. It's a very fucking expensive sport for those going to Silverstone next week. Cheapest tickets probably cheapest tickets about £290, £300, and that's the cheapest. And you're not even maybe on race day there on the Sunday. Formula One is such an exclusive sport for them to open up to even agree to do this for me speaks volumes. And the fact that they filmed at the British Grand Prix, visually this film looked as a Formula One fan. I was thinking, bear in mind, this is probably one of the best races I've watched all season. That's how bad the Formula One season's been this year. The movie had the best race of the season in it. That's how bad Formula One and boring it's been this season. But what did you think visually, Sash, of this movie? Because I think everything worked. The effects, the sound. We mentioned the soundtrack. I think visually the way they've done the racing, and obviously the way that they had
well,
to
the
incorporate it.
sound design was off the hook.
But the way they had to
You just
incorporate the CGI with the actual racing, because obviously they're not racing with Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, but the way they filmed that, for me, you would not know that it's a movie, but
seem seamless.
visually,
Yeah,
yeah, it looked like I'm watching a Formula One race here. They Hollywooded it up at parts, but of course they're going to fucking do that. It's going to be a blockbuster movie, but visually, the actual racing part of it, I thought was incredible.
oh yeah, yeah. But this is the kind of film where you need the big screen.
Oh, I
If
saw
you
it in yeah, we
if
saw it in
you're
IMAX, bro.
planning to
So glad.
watch this or this film on Apple TV in
No,
3 months' time,
you've missed
you're
out.
doing
Yeah.
the film a disservice
This
because
film was
it's made
made.
for
I
cinema.
mean, I love the fact that now. I mean, back in the day, it wasn't so much that when that films are specifically made for IMAX.
Yeah,
This movie, sound wise, visually, effects, everything that was in it. I'm so glad that don't get me wrong, iSense is good. I know it's only a tiny little. I say this all the time. I'm a bit of an IMAX snob now. I'm so glad I saw it. I'm so glad we saw this in IMAX, Sash.
yeah.
Watching it, just the sound of Formula One in IMAX is not something you get to experience. I sit at home every Sunday and I watch a Formula One race on my TV. Yeah, my sound bar's good, but it's no fucking IMAX. I mean, I think everything hit on this movie. Was there anything that you thought, not really for me, this movie?
I did think it was a little long, but a little long. Not that I was bored at any point. I gauged that because I'm an older gentleman. I'm middle aged, and man needed to go.
Man needed
But
his
he could.
bed.
But I was glued to the seat, man, and it was
Yeah.
like shit. Fuck. How long is this movie? And that's not because I was bored with the movie. It was more a case of I need to go toilet. You know what I mean? I need to
Yeah.
stand up and stretch. I'm in a seat huddled like this. I'm a tall guy as well. So when you're in a
Yeah,
seat
I get you.
like
I'm with you,
this,
bro.
I need to stretch. But that's my only complaint, and that's more a me thing rather than the movie. I do you think that the last lap could have had a bit more tension to have a bit more stakes?
Yeah, I
But
mean, I'm
but at the
kind of
same
glad the
time,
way they done it because I
yeah,
thought, obviously, again, if you're watching this and you've made it this far into the episode, spoiler alert, um, I th I thought it was good the way they gave Brad. Sonny Hayes, the Brad Pitt's character, is flowers
Oh, you
because
spoiling it?
well, I did say at the start of the episode, if you turn off now, I
Okay.
said this is
All
not
right.
going to be
All
a
right. All
spoiler.
right.
For,
I
this
did
is
start it. Okay, cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is going to be we was spoilers here. Turn off now and come back. Hopefully a lot of people we know will be seeing it in the next few days. But yeah, watch this when you've seen it. But yeah, I like the way they gave Sonny Hayes his flowers. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
good the way they didn't shit on his character, and the only thing with this movie, and this isn't a bad thing. This is maybe because I've seen these kind of movies before. I kind of knew where it was going, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes you can go to movies and there's that twist where you're like, oh, fuck, I didn't see
Yeah.
that coming. Sometimes with these movies, again, like Any Given Sunday, which is the NFL equivalent of this movie, I think it's older guy, younger guy comes in, kind of takes his spot. But in the end, the older guy teaches the younger guy a lesson and he proves to like be his mentor. This for me, this was kind of Sonny Hayes saying to Joshua's character at Apex Wrestling, "Hey, dude, it's not all about social media," because he was buzzing like when he in that I think there was an opening race. I think it was Austria where they were racing and they ended up crashing out. But he was more interested in posing for photos for Instagram and Facebook. So what I liked about this movie was it gave a message of what life is right about right now. You get these upcoming stars in Formula One, and they're there now. They're more interested in Instagram likes and Facebook
Yeah.
clicks and TikTok follows and etc. I thought this movie handled that really well. That the way that it explained, hey, look, we're sitting here recording a podcast that goes on YouTube. We love Twitter, we love Facebook, but when you strip it all back, when you're an elite sportsman, them things would. I always say to people, them kind of things would take care of themselves. Don't try and get likes and clicks and everything else. If your product is good, which Formula One is, and I think that's the point that Sonny Hayes' character was trying to make to the Joshua character. This is, hey, look, don't worry about Instagram and Facebook and clicks and likes. Be a very good racing driver, and all that will come. Did you kind of get that sense in this movie?
Yeah.
I thought he'd done it really well. I don't know if you agree.
No, no, I agree 100% with that sentiment. And it's a lesson in life as well.
Mm.
You build it, people will come. So,
That's what we're
like,
doing. That's what we're doing
literally,
here,
don't
bro.
worry about the noise and what
Yeah.
other people are doing. It's a life lesson. Just concentrate on yourself and everything will fall into play.
Mm. I like
So,
and as a Formula One fan, you. You know, Formula One is one of the dirtiest sports in the game for money changing hands, and I thought they'd done that really well with the guy,
oh, yeah.
trying to offer Sonny Hayes, like we're basically paying you to fail.
Yeah.
And this is sport all over, but Formula One I'd say it's probably one of the richest sports in the world after like the NFL, the
Yeah.
NBA, and our version of the Premier League. I like that the way they done that, and Sonny Hayes give him
Yeah.
basically told him to fuck off. There wasn't anything about this movie that I disliked. I couldn't really the odd little bit here and there that was
Yeah.
Hollywooded up, but that's me just as a Formula One fan. I'm hoping most Formula One fans will come out of this movie and everything I've read today. So I read a little bit, obviously knowing that me and you were recording this. They all loved it. You know, they all loved it. Do you think there's a risk when they do these kind of movies that they've got to do the sport justice? I'm just using this Formula One as an example.
Yeah.
Me and you have, we've talked Star Wars remakes and we've talked everything. You have to do when you do these kind of movies, whether it's a biographical movie when it's about
Yeah.
someone's life, do you always feel that they have to do that sport, that person
Mm.
justice?
If it's historical, I think it depends. It depends on the tone of the movie. I'll give you an example. Quentin Tarantino's Inglourious Basterds. Okay,
Hmm.
that's a Tarantino movie. All right, it's not there to be historically accurate. It's what if I did my version of World War II? Hitler doesn't have to doesn't have to die the way he's supposed to, but
Yeah,
he will get dead in
yeah,
in the revenge movie kind of way.
yeah,
And God, does he die?
very much so.
But like, do you see what I mean? But that's a film that doesn't pretend to be a historically accurate. It knows exactly what it wants to be.
Hmm.
But then you've got the kind of film that says it's a biopic, like Napoleon,
Yeah.
Ridley Scott's Napoleon, and it's historically inaccurate.
Hmm.
And it's like,
And a
well,
terrible movie.
Yeah, I mean, and a terrible movie,
and
and
long.
that long, way too long.
Jesus, that's a long
So,
movie.
so like, so like, there's that, what for something that's trying to be a biopic, I would expect it to give it a level of class and a level of authenticity to history.
Mm,
But with but if you're going to do something that isn't a biography,
hmm.
you know what I mean, but based in this
Yeah.
world, depending on what kind of movie
You
you're
could
trying
tell
to
they had
make,
done their research with
yeah,
this Formula One movie.
yeah,
You
yeah.
could tell they had
Well,
proper
you got
looked
Lewis
in.
Hamilton to thank for
Yeah,
that,
yeah,
you know.
exactly. So that's the
So
point
yeah,
I was coming on to help to have him involved, and he was in the movie a little bit, and you see him and stuff like that. What role do you think that he really did play in it? Because I thought it was perfect when I saw that he was like one of the executive producers for it. You can tell that they had sat down with him for weeks, months, probably years in the making, saying, "Look, we want to get this right. What do we need to do from we know we'll get the movie side. The movie side sorted. You know, Joseph Quincy knows the movie side. He's like, now we want to get this right from the Formula One side of this movie. Do you think that really helped having Lewis Hamilton on board?
yeah, no, 100%. I think having him on board as a producer really helped. You know what I mean? The authentic. Like there was a interview with Brad Pitt. Lewis Hamilton came on before Brad Pitt came on because
Hmm.
Joe, what's it? Joseph, I've forgotten
Kowinski.
his surname. But the director approached Hamilton to try and, you know what I mean, get him on board with the movie and stuff. There are multiple reasons for that. Access to the actual stadiums themselves.
Yeah, they
Um,
British
yeah,
Grand Prix. They were at
yeah,
all the. You know, I remember last year watching the British Grand Prix, and they were showing you bits of them
yeah.
filming the movie, saying,
And
"Hey, look,
but the other
Brad Pitt
thing,
was in
yeah,
Leighton Buzzard for fuck's sake." You know
but
the scene. You know
the
the
other
scene where he's
thing to
drinking the pint.
the other thing to have. Sorry to cut you off there, but
Yeah,
the
no,
other
no,
thing
no,
to
no,
have
please.
Lewis Hamilton is where he was talking in the state. Well, when Brad Pitt was talking in the state, Lewis Hamilton had a lot to do with the sound design for this movie
Hmm.
because he knows what it's like when you go around those tracks,
Yeah.
what a certain clutch off a gear sounds like when it interchanges as you
Hmm.
go around. You know what I mean? He knows all of those things because he's raced those tracks many, many times and practiced on them many, many times. And that's one thing that blew me away was the sound design of this movie. The
Yeah.
surround sound put
Oh,
you in the wheel,
yeah. It was
and it was
incredible.
but
Yeah.
what well, I did cut you off there. I do
No, no, no,
apologize.
no, no. It's
What,
fine.
what,
You know the
go back to
part
your point. Yeah,
they were sitting in the with Sonny Hayes and with Kate played by Kerry Conto.
Katona.
No, not Katona. That's the
Oh,
fucking.
okay.
She's a shit pop star. The character Kate. Anyway, you know where they were sitting having the pint.
Oh yeah.
That is a pub 5 minutes from my house.
What?
Yeah, literally. I remember them saying they advertised. It's the Globe in Leighton Buzzard down by the canal. As I look here, it's 5 minutes that way. And I remember everyone freaking out on like these little Facebook pages like
Yeah.
Spotted or whatever. Everyone was like, Brad Pitt's in Leighton Buzzard. I'm like, fuck off. But it happened a couple of years ago because not the last Mission Impossible, the one before was
Yeah.
filmed at the Quarry, and everyone
Yeah.
posted online. Tom Cruise is sitting in Costa Coffee in Leighton Buzzard. Again, I was like, you lot are on drugs. Lo and behold, everyone started posting photos online. Tom Cruise was sitting in Leighton Buzzard High Street having a Costa Coffee.
Yeah.
This film, Brad Pitt was literally at the Globe pub, 5 minutes from where I'm sitting right now. I've been in there countless times having a beer or walking along having a meal with the family, and it come up on the screen. And I was like, my house is 5 minutes from here. It was super cool to see, like, somewhere that's 5 minutes from my house. I'm gonna have to go there now and just sit in Brad Pitt's seat just to say I've, had a beer there. But look, dude, this movie for me, no, I can't say a bad word about it. I recommend this if you've made it this far and you don't mind the spoilers, go and see this movie. Make sure you see it in IMAX. Like Sash said, you've got to see. Don't see this on normal screen cinema. It'll be good. This movie is made things like this. Any Star Wars film you go and see, Superman that we're going to go and see next week. I think you're going to have to just for visually, sound wise, you've got to see this shit in IMAX, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. We mentioned at the start of the episode. Let's just have a brief chat about trailers. why we're here. 'Cause look, go and see the Formula One movie. It's fucking incredible. It's really good. It's a solid 9 out of 10 for me. I know we're trying not to do too many ratings on it anymore. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. The only thing is, I felt I'd seen a lot of it in the trailers. I mean, you mentioned at the start of the show when me and you were growing up, one or two trailers maximum, and then you're like, right, I want with
Well,
modern day
they'd always have the teaser and then they'd have a trailer,
trailer. Yeah, I mean,
and that's it.
Look at Superman coming out next week. We got the first 3 minutes. They played 3 minutes of the movie in one of the
Well,
trailers.
that's just it. I mean, look, see that was the standard marketing budget is 100 million on these films.
Mm,
Now, whenever it's the standard 100 million, you are going to get free trailers
mm,
because that's how much it's extended. Because we never used to get free trailers. We only used to
two.
get two.
Yeah,
Over the years, we started getting free trailers, and then obviously you've got you ever see the I don't think we've ever discussed this, but you have like the 10-second clip that will come
yeah,
out the day before.
mm-hmm,
And that always used to bug me, but I know what it's for. It's for the TikTokers, isn't it? Because
yeah.
these kids they don't have a long attention span. So
These
you
pesky
can
kids
sell
these
it in
days.
5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah,
Is it an era thing now? Are we just old farts, Sash? I mean,
we are
I
old
feel like,
farts,
and look,
man.
don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, and when we were on here with Neil, and I know he's not the biggest fan, I can't wait for the Superman movie. I just think they might have not that they've showed us too much because I think there's gonna be loads that I haven't seen.
Mm.
Obviously, when I go and me and you go and see it next week, um, do they give away too much in trailers now? I mean, I've recently went and saw Ballerina. I knew straight away that John Wick was in it. And you're like, oh, it's on the trailer. Did you have to
Yeah.
tell me? Don't get me wrong, it's set between movie 3 and 4, so you kind of knew he was going to be in it anyway. But if you had saved that for the movie, it would have been like a, oh, what the fuck?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, that, see, the problem is, yeah, it's not the filmmaker's fault. It's the marketing company.
yeah, they
Because the
want to.
marketing company are trying to sell the product, right?
Hmm.
And they know that John Wick will put butts in seats.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people are just going to be like, what the fuck is a ballerina?
Yeah,
And
it's
when
like a
people
spin off, but it's John Wick without John Wick.
yeah, it's like, why can't the ballerina just be the ballerina and then have it be that word of mouth thing,
Hmm.
you know? Um, but we're in an era where, marketing wants to spoil everything. You know what I mean? They can. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's
there was another Fantastic Four trailer that dropped today, and I'm thinking, oh, it's like the third or fourth thing. Don't get me wrong, like I said on last week's episode on Marvelous
yeah,
Monday, I'm not the biggest Fantastic Four fan in the world, but I'm going to go and see the movie. But stop fucking showing me most of it in the trailers.
yeah.
I don't know. Are we just a pair of old bastards now? We just,
No, I think you're right from a certain point of view. Although I do get why they do it on their end, but I don't agree with it. Does that make sense?
yeah,
Like I
no,
don't
I'm with
agree
you.
with it, but they do have the stats to say that this works for them. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah, I
And
got
it's
you, bro.
like a bit. It's like I'll give you the best example. This year, the Captain America movie.
Hmm.
Now, I I was marveled out. I had no interest in seeing that film. Okay, none, because of Secret Invasion and all the
Yeah,
Disney Plus shows. None. Same with Thunderbolts. None. Zip, zero. But then the Thunderbolts trailer looked better, like actually looked good. And lo and behold, I personally felt the movie was all right. As for Captain America, the thing that made me want to see the film was the fact that Harrison Ford was going to Hulk out. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah,
And if
it's like
I
what you
hadn't,
said about John Wick, innit? Not that Marvel needs to do that, but when you saw Harrison Ford, didn't you? You're like, I want to fucking see this.
no, you know what? I wouldn't have wanted to see. I would have seen it eventually because General Ross, he's playing him, and yeah, I know he becomes the Red Hulk, but at no point did I think it would happen in a Captain America movie. When I saw that, I was like, I don't even care how long he's Red Hulk for. He could be in it
Hmm.
for 5 seconds, as far as I'm concerned. I just
Yeah,
want to see that shit.
yeah,
Um, but that's marketing going, we're going to get these guys because they've lost all hope. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
It was kind of the same with the Formula One movie, I guess. But
Yeah.
you couldn't really miss with this Formula One movie. I don't
I
think.
actually haven't seen the trailers for this. I saw the
I'll be interested to
teaser.
see when you watch it. Watch the. It'd be interesting. We can obviously you can text me and let me know what you
Yeah.
think. Watch the trailers and think. Oh yeah, did they give away too much of the movie? Did they just do it
Mm.
just right? Because this one probably not so much as others, like Superman coming up and a few others that are Jurassic Park's done quite well. They haven't really given away loads in the trailers. You kind of know what you're getting when you go to a
Yeah.
Jurassic Park movie. We're not stupid. Megan 2.0 is out Friday. I'm going to go and see that. I haven't really seen too much. To be fair, I only just did about a month and a half ago. I didn't even know it was coming out. So when we talk marketing, it's the whole Pixar thing at the minute. It's like, why aren't Pixar really marketing their movies as much as they did in the back in the day? Is it because they're not as popular? Is it, what's the reason going? That's a whole different show, probably. I don't
Mm.
know. I don't know. But yeah, look, the Formula One movie, go and see it, everyone. It's incredible. It's go and see it in IMAX. Just watch it and watch it again. It's gonna come out on Apple TV in 3 months' time. I think you said, Sash.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. I can't recommend. I don't know about you, bro. I can't recommend this movie enough. One of my favorite movies so far of 2025.
Yeah, same. Hands
Yeah,
down.
and you're not a Formula One fan, which is for
But I
you to
am
say
a
that for
fan of
me.
like racing car movies.
Yeah.
I like most racing car movies except for Days of Thunder.
Okay.
That's a low tier Tom Cruise movie in my book.
Yeah, he doesn't do
um,
many.
um, I like Tom Cruise. I mean, but for me, there is probably in recent years, there's probably been like two, maybe three Tom Cruise movies that I was like, Tom, you messed up there.
Mm,
But
he's allowed.
generally, he has a good track record for me. I
Yeah.
mean, there's probably five movies in his whole filmography where I'm like, nah.
Mm.
So
This Formula One movie just proved to me how much I fucking really do love Brad Pitt. I think he's fucking incredible.
look,
Incredible as an
Pitt,
actor.
Pitt's always been on point as far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
He's up there with some of the greats.
Ever since True Romance, man.
Yeah. He's up there with some of the. So he can do things that Brad Pitt can do comedy. Like look at the ocean films.
Yeah.
You'll laugh your ass off. Then he'll turn
Actually,
his.
no, he did do wrong. I like 11, but 12 and 13,
Mm, Yeah, I mean that's maybe something we can get to later on down the line on completed. It'll be good to do the Ocean's movies because I think me and you talk about this all the time. Have they flogging a dead horse with a franchise? I think that's a franchise that went on maybe one, maybe two movies too long.
I think, yeah, you know what? I think I'll answer that question now, real quick, and we could go deep in another podcast.
Yeah,
But I think with Oceans, I think it had potential to be a really good idea of an ongoing franchise with different heists, but they executed it very, very wrong. And then
hmm
when you find out the behind the scenes that it was just literally for money and no one gave a shit,
yeah,
you just kind of like, oh,
yeah. Because the first two were fucking
the
amazing.
first the first one, I like, I didn't
You
like
know
the
the second
second.
one?
No, I was like, you know what it is about the first one? They robbed that casino and they're like fucking gangsters,
Yeah,
man. They're like
and literally
fucking
drove off into
they
the sunset.
glamorize crime to the
Yeah,
point where you're like, you guys are fucking G's.
yeah,
And then what annoyed me so much about part two was that the opening shot, they're caught, and
yeah.
everything that was great about part one
Went out the
was
window
thrown
in
in the
part
bin.
two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which is
I
thrown
get
in the
you.
bin in the opening shot. And I was like, that's how you no. It should have either been one and done or the movie needed to be better.
Well, I don't want to
Yeah.
disappoint you, but there's talk of them doing another one. Just
There,
saying.
there is there's a
Yeah,
reason though. I mean,
money.
look, before when they did the third one, they wanted to do the fourth one like right after. The
Yeah,
only reason why they never did many of them is because of the death of Bernie Mac.
yeah, true.
And they were like, like it's a bit and at this point, I think there's two members that are dead now. So they're like, well, we all really want to do
Oh,
one. The old guy that plays Saw.
the white guy. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. He plays like he's always with a cigar. Yeah, I know the guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
So wow, this podcast has shifted. We went from
Dude, look, we're gonna
yeah
call this one Formula One review and more. That'll do.
and more.
I mean, we always, you know us, we always segue when we do these things. But Sash, always good to sit down and chat some movies. I'm glad you got to see the Formula One movie a little bit earlier. And again, big shout out to everyone at Warner Brothers UK. Thank you so much for hooking us up a little preview screening. We weren't there on our own, by the way. It was about fucking 200 of people that went to the screening that Sash was at. But yeah, highly recommend the Formula One movie. So Sash, I've got coming up. I don't know what you're seeing next. I'm going to go and check out Megan 2.0. I'm going to go and see that hopefully over the weekend. Me and you sit here recording this on a Wednesday. Megan, you and I are off to see Superman real soon. Got some cool things coming up next week around that. That again, hopefully we'll be able to put on our socials next week that I'm doing up in London. That's all I will say about that. Jurassic Park, I think I'm gonna go. I think we're seeing that. We'll sit down and review that. You got anything else that you really want to see coming out in the next two?
I just want to see Superman, man.
Yeah,
I
but
just want to
please
see
be good. Please be good, Sash. That's
Yeah,
all I'm
yeah.
asking for.
Please be good.
Yeah, mainly because Neil will fucking kill us if it's not. Yeah, I told you so. Fantastic Four's much better. Superman, it's not as good. When you're watching this, Neil, you bastard. Yeah, no, I can't. It'd be interesting to see Neil's point of view on Superman. Bearing in mind how much he fucking hates the guy and doesn't think he's the greatest superhero of all time. But I can say that because he's not here now. I can't defend yourself, Neil, motherfucker. No, I can't wait for him to see it. It's going to be interesting. I know he's super excited about the Fantastic Four movie. Just briefly, what did you make? Did you watch the trailer that dropped today? The new Fantastic Four?
I did. Look, I've made it no secret. I like the look of it. I like the casting. The only thing I will say is, look, I've seen Pablo without the tash, and he looks like he could play Reed Richards, but now he just looks like Pablo with his mustache.
Yeah.
Come on, man, can you shave? But aside from that, no, I like it. I think a lot of hardcore fans are going to be like, why doesn't Ben Grimm sound like the cartoons and stuff? But they got a guy that has a Brooklyn accent, a legit Brooklyn accent from that area. And if you've seen The Bear, the TV show The Bear, you'll know why they casted him as Ben Grimm, because there are moments in The Bear where you're like,
Bear,
I can see it.
Yeah,
sort of.
But
I mean, look, my dream cast for Ben, but you're talking to a guy whose dream casting for Ben Grimm growing up was Bruce Willis. For real. Would never happen.
While we're talking goats, mate, Bruce Willis is definitely in there. Yeah, look, I just hope a lot of people are going to probably go and see this movie just so we could, because we think it's going to set up something for Doomsday. We're just assuming the end credits are going to be like a holy fuck moment. Yeah. We're assuming that, because I think what's the next big Marvel thing scheduled after this? Is it Doomsday? After Fantastic Four?
I think it is, Doomsday, or it might be Spider-Man, because they've
Spider-Man. Isn't Spider-Man out 4 weeks after Doomsday?
Well, no, because they've changed the schedule. Or they might be changing the schedule.
Okay, you're
they're filming. They were filming Doomsday, but they halted production and they've pushed it back 6 months.
Right.
Yeah. So
did not know that.
So at the moment, because Spider-Man's starting filming very, very soon, and before Doomsday, they might rejuggle the slate there.
Interesting. Well, as always, we're going to be sitting down and talking more movies. We are back next Monday for Marvelous Monday. We've made it to Iron Man 3 next week, Sash. I might try and get John Noakes on for that one, because he fucking hates that movie. Honestly, it'd be interesting to get me, you, him, and Neil all on the same podcast, because I've watched it again. That's again the best thing about doing Marvelous Mondays. I get to watch all these Marvel movies. It's not as bad as people make out. I think because it followed the next one's Avengers. Sorry, we're doing the Avengers, then Iron Man 3. We're doing the Avengers movie, then we're doing Iron Man 3. So I'm one ahead. I've watched Iron Man 3. Not as bad as people made out, Sash. I don't know. So yeah, Marvelous Monday next Monday is the Avengers. The following Monday is Iron Man 3. I'm getting out. I've watched so many fucking movies.
I got a story about Avengers, but I'll save it for
next Monday's episode. Again, everyone, check us out on YouTube. Just go onto YouTube, type in Completed It Podcast. You'll see that logo behind me come up. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz. We really do appreciate. The views are flying up, Sash. For like Marvelous Mondays are going down a storm. We're in like 100+ views for them now. For a podcast that's only been going 5 months, dude, we're doing something right. Yeah, we're doing all right, mate. We're doing okay. But check us out on X, Twitter, I still call it Twitter. I'm old. Completed It Pod is where you can find us on X, Twitter, Facebook as well. Just type in Completed It Podcast. You can find us on Facebook. But yeah, we will be back on Monday for Marvelous Monday. Again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Just leave a comment if you enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't leave a no, you can still leave a comment. I don't really care. But Sash, I will catch you on Monday, my friend. Always good to see you, my man. Me, you, and Neil will be back for Marvelous Monday when we talk all things the Avengers movie. But till next time, everybody, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe.
Feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of daily life? Struggling with anxiety, stress, depression, phobias, fears, or just trying to get yourself back again? Discover the transformative power of focused solution hypnotherapy and counseling. Through guided hypnotherapy, relaxation trance allows your subconscious mind to access your inner resources and strengths you didn't know you had. Book your free consultation today and let's start your journey together. For more information, please email Sharon at scm-therapy.me